Another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. Today we are talking finances. I know, a really uncomfortable topic, but honestly, if you read the title of this episode and you still clicked in here, like what we're going to talk about today, hopefully you're at least open to it. Hopefully you are coming into this conversation with the mindset of we can be better, we can grow, we can continue to build sustainable businesses within agriculture. And you know what? Maybe you've heard it, or maybe you've been the one to say it. We don't do this for the money, or we're land rich and cash poor, or my personal least favorite, if you're not starving for the land, you're not doing it right. So today we are digging in to each one of these and the concept of the glorification of being broke in ag and why that mindset is truly just holding us back. This episode, I want to emphasize, is not about shame in the slightest. It is about shaking off the chains and choosing something better for each and every one of us. So here's the problem with the starving for the land mindset. How these sayings seem noble, right? They seem like something that, like, we've probably all heard our grandparents say it at one point or another, either the starving for the land or we're land rich and cash poor. We've probably heard it before. They sound noble. They sound like you are sacrificing and that you are like doing everything you can for ag and you're putting it all in. You're putting all of your chips on the table. You're going all in. But this mindset is actually extremely harmful. And the thing is, it probably comes from something like generational pride or the concept of sacrifice, like we just talked about, or legacy. And here's the thing. We need to stop glorifying the struggle, because when you glorify the struggle, it quickly can become an identity. And that is where it gets dangerous. When you start to identify yourself with something, that is when it starts getting embedded in your brain and in just the way that you walk your life at a different level than it did before. Maybe it started out as a joke, but then it turned into something very quickly that's how you now identify yourself. You are a broke rancher. That's not something you should identify yourself as. Why are we glorifying being broke and glorifying sacrificing everything in our lives for this industry? Now, don't get me wrong. We absolutely need to live a sacrificial mindset and live in a way that, you know what, it takes a lot to be a rancher. It takes a lot to be in agriculture. And it does take a lot of sacrifice, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice everything, especially when it comes to the business mindset behind glorifying being broke. So quickly, it turned from something you were probably joking about to now something that is a backbone of you. And we want to take that out. We don't want that to be a backbone of our businesses. The glorification or the joking or all of these things where real consequences do come. Poor decision-making happens. Mental health declines. Your family feels a ton of pressure, all from just stubbornness and the unwillingness to actually do the hard thing and run your business well. Because guess what? Being broke is hard. Making money is hard. So choose your hard. Which path are you going to go that is difficult? Because both of them are. You're going to have sacrifices and you are going to have decisions that have to be made that are difficult on both sides. But for me and my family, I would much rather make difficult choices and run a business well and make money and be in the green at the end of the day than I would be in the black and have to talk to my banker and make really difficult decisions from a broke standpoint. So what are you doing that is keeping you in that mindset? Are there ways that you can start looking at your life right now and be real with yourself of, have I made this a part of my identity? Or am I joking about this maybe a little bit too much? Has this turned from a joke into something that is actually a very real part of my life? And if it is, again, we're not here to shame. I am here to talk to you guys about opening up your minds. Okay? Open up your minds to the idea of it doesn't have to be this way. So I kind of touched on this a little bit ago, but it can be a generational or societal concept of being a rancher or a producer in ag means that you have to be poor to be a good one, or that you're not sacrificing enough if you're not, or all of these things. And in my opinion, that all roots from this mindset of a misconception that profit equals greed. Just because you're running a profitable business does not mean that you are being greedy. It does not mean that you are living outside of your means or anything like that. And as a Gen Zer, as someone who is the oldest of the Gen Z generation, so I grew up with a lot of millennials, and I have a very different mindset than, I guess you could say, like a 18-year-old Gen Zer. I think that's where the line cuts off. I don't know how many generations it is, but how many years each generation is. But anyway, where I'm going with this, I'm getting off topic. Where I'm going with this is that there is this mindset that I think was drilled into a lot of us from a long time ago. You could go back to the Depression era, or honestly, probably it roots from that is mostly Depression era mindset and Depression era thinking. And I have had to do a lot of work personally of living in an abundant mindset, living in a God is going to provide. We are going to do this. We are going to make business decisions that are not rooted in fear, but rooted in trust and rooted in facts and rooted in a belief for myself, my business, and our future. Not in a fear-based mindset of questions like, I don't know if we're going to have enough money to make it through this month, or what is our income going to be? And like, are we going to be able to pay the bills? And all of these things. I've always run my business in a mindset of, I'm going to figure it out. The bills will get paid one way or another. We will figure it out. And I'm not a person that's going to cut my expenses. I'm a person that's going to look at my business and say, how can we grow our profit? If that makes sense. I hope that I am explaining this in a way that is opening up your mind to that concept of, I think that this concept comes from generations and generations of money mindset that you got to do a lot of work to kind of crumple and to start to build a healthy money mindset on. It's so easy to look at money and to stay stuck and to wear the badge of honor of, we've always done it this way, or this is how I was taught, or this is how great grandpa ran the land and this is how we're going to do it, and all of those things. But the thing is we have so many emotional ties when it comes to money and when it comes to finances that it makes it really difficult to step back and make positive business decisions, and business decisions that are rooted in business mindset and not emotional mindsets. We run a very emotional business in agriculture. We have family operations that are generations and generations. We have ties to the land and everything else that comes with that. And I don't want to negate that in any way, shape, or form, but I do want to encourage everyone to take a step back and look at your business like a business and start running your businesses like businesses and not like this emotional baggage that you have attached to you at all times. So here's some challenges that I want to give to you guys. All right. Like, I want to challenge this with love, but with a lot of logic. I acknowledge the fact that there are sacrifices being made every single day in agriculture. And that is how we run such great businesses. And that is one aspect that I love about ag. But we also need to invite in the idea that smart businesses are sustainable businesses. Smart businesses are the ones that you're actually going to have something to hand down to your kids and your grandkids and every generation after that, because you are making decisions now that are smart for the business. Being financially stable will lead to a greater impact in the long run for not only your business right now, but the legacy that you are leaving down the road. There is room for everyone at this table when we're discussing this too. I want money to be something that isn't hidden behind closed doors, isn't talked about, like, talk about money at the dinner table, talk about profit and loss and struggles and highs, and like the cattle market's doing pretty good right now. Talk about that with your kids. about that with the next generation and continue to let this mindset of like, we don't have to be broke to be successful. We don't have to be broke in ag. You can run really, really great businesses in agriculture, and you don't have to be you don't have to be scraping by. You don't have to be pinching pennies. There is room for success for everyone at this table, as long as you open yourselves up to it. And success for everyone is going to look different. This episode isn't about do these things and you're going to be profitable, and do these things and you're going to switch your money mindset. It's more about, hey, let's open our minds up to the idea that maybe for a lot of years we have been glorifying being broke in ag. And maybe, just maybe, that has been hurting us. And what can we do right now to sit back and ask ourselves, all right, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to be doing to be better for my operation now? And what do I need to be doing to be better for the legacy that I'm going to leave after me? So, a vision looking forward. What can we do? I have a couple questions for you guys. What if you normalized paying yourselves well? What if you normalized having a separate business bank account from a personal account, and you paid yourself into that personal account every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever it is? And what if we normalized making that a living, making that a livable paycheck for yourselves and your family to actually run your lives, pay your mortgage, put your kids in school, do the sports, do the vacations, all of those things? And what if we taught our kids how to profit within this business and not just how to work the business? We want to build operations that outlast us because they are built smart. It is so important that we start looking at our businesses within agriculture and ask ourselves, how can we build smart businesses? It is not ungrateful or greedy to want more. It is responsible. It is looking at your business and saying, how can this business outlast generations to come? And looking at it and being like, you know what? There are going to be quarters and seasons where we are in the black. And you know what? I think every business goes through that. But how can you put buffer in? How can you grow for the future? And how can you look forward and say, no more are we going to glorify being broke in agriculture? We are not. I'm not saying this as a shame or as a way to put down wherever you are financially. I am saying this as a way of, how can we be better? How can we look at our operations and our businesses, and how can we bring profit home? Because if we are bringing good profit home, I can promise you mental health gets better, families get better, and you are a happier business owner. You don't have to prove your love for agriculture by going broke for it. So let's shift the narrative from just surviving to actually thriving. So for you, where have you worn financial struggle like a badge? And what is one change that you can make this year to improve your operations profit or sustainability? I know every single one of you listening to this can find one way that you can be more profitable this year and build off of that for years to come. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know finances are a tough topic. They're a tough topic to listen to. They're a tough topic to talk about. All of the things, but I hope that if you were brave enough to click into this episode, that you were able to listen and truly find something that settled within you, and something that truly just was able to open your eyes up to the fact that there's more for you in agriculture, and there's a possibility for a greater future for every single one of us. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review. Seriously, guys, taking 20 seconds to go down to those show notes, click on that review button, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you're listening to, YouTube, and just click like or rate or subscribe. Seriously, take 5 seconds. It means the world to us. We really appreciate it here at the team, as always. And I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week, and happy 4th of July week. I hope that you guys are all able to have some rejuvenative. Words are hard. I'm not even going to try to say it because I'm going to keep on getting tongue-tied. Rejuvenative. you know what? I hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you are still here for me trying to get untongue-tied, well, cheers to you. I hope you have a great weekend. God bless you all, and we'll see y'all next time on another episode. Have a good one, y'all.